Okay, so this is the reassemble for the little console compartment PC. I wish I had shown you the disassemble, but we broke it down, cleaned it up, and I at least like to show you how we go about putting it back together. So, parts for the lighter. Took this scrubbing pad and just scrubbed down all the rough areas as needed on all these parts. And then with this, I came and sprayed it with a coat of WD-40 and then just wiped it down. I wish I had showed us disassembling, but we're just going to jump in with assembling, and this is going to be with the lighter. So line this part back up to there, and this will, before you even do that, drop the little screw back into place. Such. Slide this down and you'll feel it when it catches to where it needs to sit. And the same thing with that, when you put it on, you'll be able to tell when it's sitting in correct position. Now your little screw, your washer. And your screw. Tighten that in place. And this little piece, you just line it up. Those two little slots there for your two little prongs. And it should snap right into place. Then you just take this before you put this in. You want to slide it into place here. What'll happen if you put this in first, it's not going to give for the little ends right here. They're not going to give. So you want to slide that into place and then slide your lighter into place. And this, slide this facing towards the rear. As a matter of fact, once you go to set it in there, you'll feel it going along the grooves that it needs to line up on to go in. So just slide that into place as such. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back together. This little plate fits on the side there. But from there, for safekeepings, go ahead and replace this little screw that goes into this little part. I will go ahead and put it into place. Now, the problem I was having with this one is when we first picked it up, this here was not rotating around the way it should to keep it in place. So hopefully, by cleaning it, it's going to cause it to act proper. It goes on as such. You see, you're going to have a little notch in it on one end, and then your long end. Short end is going to go, put it on such, and see it's got a little slot there. Just slide it into the little slot and slide it on down. And the little teeth here, the little grooves, they're going to fit one way, and then in order to keep it in place, to lock it, start with it towards the back to slide it in place, and then just slide it on around. Okay, there we go. We have the little action that I want, but it's not facing down, so the way it should. So I'm just taking the needle nose and gently bend it into shape. I'm going to at least bend it enough to where it's under that little lip and it's not catching up. But that's what you want. You want it to be able to trigger back and forth like that. Okay, from there, we will put this top part of the lid on, and then just these here side pieces slide right in as such. Now the single piece without any gears on will fit on this same side that we put this little spring on. In order to get it to fit, you just take, once again, it has those like little pieces that will fit down inside the groove, and then you would turn it to lock it into place. So get it to line up. And slide in, and once it's in place, just pull it around there, and it fits on that little piece as such. Now, when you line it up, you're going to want to make sure your teeth are at the top. If it's closed, make sure your teeth line up, and that first one lines up in the first slot as such. Then pull it around and put it into place. Okay, now for this side, you want to make sure that you set them in the top position as well. Then you're going to come and the same thing with the grooves there. You're going to want to line it up and then twist it into place. And it appears the best way is to start with the gears to the back, slide them in, and then rotate them into place. Okay, before you line them up into place, you want to take this here spring, and it will fit. This little hook goes on, it's got a little notch right there that it's going to fit over. So place it into place as such, making sure that knot fits over there. Let's see if there's a way to set this gear. Just set that gear up there, up top. It's going to be a little tension there, but set it up top in order for long enough to get this first gear in place and to make sure it lines up on your gears here. Once that first gear is in place and it's lined to that position, go ahead and take this out of place and put it on the arm. And from there you can press it on down and into place. That seems to have worked a little bit easier. But as well, take and check the back side and make sure that the gear, that the spring is down in place. You want to make sure it's completely seated so you can push that all the way down to where it seats in place. Now, the problem I was having was it was not resetting with this in place. So, let's see if we can't get it to sit right. Now, the problem I was having when I first picked it up and why I figured it needed cleaning is because this part was not shifting into place, which was not allowing it to open and close on its own when you pressed it. So I put the screw in so I wouldn't lose it, but to apply it to the assembly you need to back it up or just go ahead and remove it. Put your washer in place. And then you're going to have to put it at that angle to where it slides in the slot and then rotate it around into place. And it fits right in like that. Go ahead and put it in position as such. You're going to want to partially close it to about right there. Put your screw in and tighten it all the way down. Now let's see what we have. Spray just a tad of WD-40 right up in there. And spray some here along my gears. And here as well. And then just wipe off any extra that you might have. Run it down. And this here little tension piece, it slides right in there in that slot. Slide it right into place. Alright. I'm going to just keep this one and set it to the side because I haven't quite decided on which one I want to use. I have this one that we cleaned up. It was gray, we painted it black because in the first one I had cut all this off and cut around the edges here, and I discovered that all I needed was the tray. So now it's a matter of deciding which tray we will use. And for the meantime, I'm going to just use the black, but when I get ready to switch it out, there you have it. It looks like that one might be a little lighter than the one I have. I do believe it is maybe just a tad bit lighter. So we're just going to use the black one for the time being, but that's how you assemble your little console holder compartment.